Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Shisho and today's topic is a very interesting one. Guess what? Today's topic is India's education system. That is the education system of our country, their promise and challenge. Imagine walking into a bustling classroom anywhere in India, from a crowded government school in a small village to a modern private academy in a city. Have you ever wondered how the world's largest schooling system really works? World's, maybe not the largest, but one of the largest schooling system really works? India educates roughly around 26.5 crore children from grades 1 to 12. Most of the students, about 10 out of every 13, attend government-run schools, while the rest go to private schools or institutions. National boards like CBSE, with around 24,000 affiliated schools, and ICSE, with around 2,300 schools, sit alongside dozens of state educational boards, each with its own syllabus. In short, India's educational landscape is huge and diverse, spanning from free local schools to elite private academies. The reach of schooling. Schools in India fall under central and state governance. By law, every child from ages 6 to 14 has the right to free and compulsory education. Actually, it's in our fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution. And enrollment rates are impressively high. Over 95% of kids around 6 to 14 are enrolled. In rural areas, government schools dominate. About 80% of elementary students study in state-run schools. In cities, that share drop as private schools grow. Yeah, it's normal because in cities they're developing the urban areas. So right now India has around 15 lakh, that is 1.5 million schools, and millions of teachers working to teach hundreds of millions of children. Think back to your school days. A campus filled with dozens of bright young faces is the norm here. A typical school follows the 10 plus 2 system, 10 years of primary and secondary education plus 2 years of higher secondary, classes 11, 12. Although nowadays 9 and 10 are also considered as high school. So now positive strides. So the positive strides stand out in this vast system. Government programs have greatly expanded access and support for schooling. For example, the midday meal scheme, PM Poshan, provides free lunches to tens of millions of children every day, which studies say boosts attendance and retention. Free textbooks, uniforms and scholarships also keep children in class. Over the past decade, dropout rates have fallen at all levels as a result. Infrastructure has improved too, although they are only for government schools, so it's like a disadvantage to the private schools because they have to afford more. But yeah, government schools are also improving, and that's a very good thing. Even student-teacher ratios are better, from 34 is to 1 in primary down to 26 is to 1 right now, meaning more teachers are on the ground than ever before. Another bright spot is digitalization. In response to school closures during COVID, India pushed for online learning tools. The Endear and Diksha platform has become massive. By mid-2024, it had 50 million users and over 3.5 billion page views, showing that when digital resources reach students, they are hungry for them. The government has also set up initiatives like PM E-Vidya and EdTech accelerators to bring technology into classrooms. Private schools are also helping the economically backed classes to get enrolled in them in less amount of fees than normal students. Yet there are flaws and gaps, that is disadvantages, in how many children learn. Learn means really, how many children do you think learn? In India's education system, the two words are not there. It is a famous saying actually. It's the education and the system. Without education is the main thing, and you need a system for the proper implementation of the education. A chronic exam and marks obsession dominates the culture. From primary all the way to the board exams, students are drilled to recall answers and score high rather than understanding the concepts of what they should think critically. The concepts which are very critical are not being understood properly by the students. Instead, they are just doing answers. Experts describe India's style as the death of creativity. Yeah, they may increase the academic intelligence, but the creativity is dying here. Classrooms emphasize memorizing facts and pattern solving over analysis or exploration. Teachers rush to cover mountains of syllabus so students can crack tests or exams, often viewing comprehension as a luxury that slows them down. The result is predictable. Millions of children attend school, but few truly learn how to learn, so they are not rather successful in life. Many have thousands of degrees, but still are unemployed or having difficulty to find jobs. Many students in interviews and reports complain, mechanical sum after mechanical sum, with little time for projects and imaginations. The rote learning has become so ingrained that even top colleges report students who can ace an exam but can't apply ideas in real life. Behind this exam culture lie deeper problems. Teacher shortages and absenteeism are acute in many areas. Imagine a school with half its teachers missing each day. This is real in places like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, which have over 5 lakh vacant teacher posts. Can you believe it? No, right? Me too. Many government posts go unfilled for years. And when teachers are hired, lack of training or low morale can mean unreliable attendance. Rural surveys confirm that a lot of schools still need basic renovation, and a large number of teachers are unwilling to teach in rural areas. Even when schools exist in remote villages, families sometimes haul water or bring their own benches. Hardly the uplifting learning environment every child deserves. Yes, a child deserves this. The urban-rural divide is stark. Children in big cities often attend flashy new schools with air conditioning and computer labs. In contrast, in some villages, kids squeeze into one-room schools. State literacy surveys show that learning outcomes in rural India lag. Only 1 in 5 class 3 children can read a class 2 level text after 3 years of schooling. That number is troublingly low. And you know why? In many rural schools, textbooks are shared, chalk is in short supply, and overhead exams are administered by overworked teachers. The result, 2 kids who both completed grade 5 in different parts of India may have vastly different skills. On the brighter sides, there are glimmers of hope. But what do you think? That means private, modern, luxurious schools, they are the best? No! Imagine, the parents are the problem. Here the main problem is parenting. For example, if there is a test which is of 40 marks and a student gets 39, 38, 40 is great, right? If the student gets 31, 32, 35, it's still okay. But if a student gets 30, is then also fine. But if a student gets 29, then he or she has scored very bad according to parents. Do you think this is fair? No, right? So this is what happens. Many schools and teachers are finding ways to inspire students despite odds nowadays. For example, some government schools have started using local language stories and hands-on activities to make learning more engaging, and parents report that children are more eager to attend in these schools. In certain districts, teachers who underwent new Nishita training, an online module under NEP, began experimenting with group activities and found the students started asking questions and thinking aloud. This is a problem it happened with introverts or happens nowadays too. Even I personally as a student have also experienced it. That introverts have problem asking teachers the questions and their doubts remain as doubts forever. We can also look beyond India for inspiration. Countries like Finland and Singapore have education systems that seem almost opposite in spirit. Finland famously doesn't even have standardized tests until the last year of high school. But Finland's education system is the number one education system in the whole of the world. Its teachers are highly trained, all hold master's degrees and trusted as autonomous professionals. Classrooms there emphasize equity and enjoyment of learning. In fact, Finns champions less homework, more play, equal learning outcomes as a winning formula. Similarly, Singapore consistently tops global student assessments not by drilling harder but by ensuring deep understanding and creativity. In Singapore, 58% of the students achieved the highest levels in OECD's PISA, that is a creative thinking test, versus only 27% OECD widely, like in the whole world. That means more than half of Singaporean teens are world-class creative problem solvers. They do this through teacher-led dialogue, real-world problem projects, and a culture that values asking why. In contrast, India's education often feels like a one-way street. Teachers to students, answers delivered on demand. Clearly, India has massive potential and massive challenges. In the last few years, the government has launched ambitious reforms. The National Education Policy 2020 NEP itself is supposed to shake things up. It aims to scrap the 10 plus 2 structure for a 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 model, integrate early childhood education, promote instruction in mother tongues, and drastically reduce rote-heavy curriculum. It also calls for phasing in a 4-year BEd degree, continuous professional development for teachers, and new regulatory body for qualities. Many of these ideas echo what developed many countries have done. But do you think India is really advancing? Write it down in the comments. And that is because, there is an interesting fact that is more the budget of ISRO, the Space Organization of India, is less than budgets of many donation and charities run by governments. Like in West Bengal there is Lokhi Bhandar, Konyasri, Vidhava Bhata, etc. etc. There in Uttar Pradesh there is also some, in Gujarat there is some, in Maharashtra, in all over India. I am from West Bengal, that is why I gave that examples, because I can. Alongside NEP, specific initiatives have rolled out. There are many platforms. India National Digital Infrastructure for Schooling provides free lesson plans, quizzes and videos for teachers and students. Its huge users numbers, 50 million users by 2024, prove that there is appetite for digital learning, even if access is unequal. And the new PMSHRI, PM Schools for Rising India scheme plans to upgrade some 14,500 underperforming schools by 2027, bringing them better facilities, library, computer lab, resources, chemistry lab, physics lab, science lab, bio lab, etc. and innovative teaching modules. Early reviews suggest PM Shri is still an experiment, but the idea is to turn struggling schools into role model ones. But are these reforms working? It's too soon for definitive answers. Initial data like the Nipun literacy gains is promising. Dropouts have leveled off and girl enrollment is actually higher than boy enrollment in many age groups, which was previously, that means the sex ratio is increasing and getting better, which was previously very poor. Vast shortages of trained teachers are still lagging. Infrastructure and the sheer inertia of exam-driven culture all slow progress. Meanwhile, the digital divide exposed by the pandemic means many rural students still miss out on online classes. So where does this leave us? Despite the problems, India's school system has built something extraordinary. A scale, a foundation in literacy, and a legal framework for every child's education. It has also ignited debates and research globally. People everywhere wonder how a nation of India's size can educate hundreds of millions of people. The story today is one of them both challenge and hope. Yes, classrooms need to move from rote to reason, from pressure to play. Yes, more teachers, resources and equal opportunities are desperately needed. But we, the people of India, have to work for that. Not only the private schools, the business owners and the government. This is not just an abstract policy issue. It's about our future. Think back to your own school days. And if you are studying in school now, then you can understand this much better. The thrill of learning something for the first time, or the frustration of feeling stuck in drills. Every Indian grown-up was once a student, and every Indian student looks to the future. Also, the schools need to promote sex education to a high level. We can demand classrooms that encourage questions, not just answers. We can support teachers who want training and fair play. We can innovate with community libraries, local content, and mentorship programs. And yes, we as citizens can insist on an educational system that values creativity and joy as much as marks. The journey will be long, but it is inspiring to remember that education has always been the bedrock of progress. India is a young nation with more children than nearly any other country. If schools can nurture their talents, if policymakers, teachers, parents and students can come together with the belief that every child can learn deeply, then India's classrooms can transform into cradles of hope and innovation. As we look ahead, we might well tell the next generation, we did it together. The change begins in our schools and our collective imagination in it also begins. Let's keep pushing, keep caring and keep believing that a better education system is within reach. So, thank you. Subscribe, like, share and please kindly press the bell icon. And thank you. Tata. Hope you have a very good day.